Bzz.
What's up, y'all? All right, so today we have a profile of a deck that, if you're looking to beat Blackwargreymon, is going to do really well against it, or at least we hope so, according to our very good friend here, one of the top players in all of Digimon right now. His name is Moonpie. You may know him, you may have played against him. Um, Moonpie, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How are we doing, Rampy?
Oh, we're doing awesome. So you claim that this deck is gonna be pretty good against Blackwargreymon X in the upcoming set. Any big reasons
BT11.
why you or BT11? Why do you think that is?
To be honest, I've been testing it. I've seen a couple of test tournaments that I've seen people running, and I just seen that Beelstar was doing like getting in tops and stuff. So I kind of was like just like playing around, looking at the deck itself, seeing how the deck could be doing so good because they're saying security control is dead. And I obviously play security control as well sometimes, as well as I play a multitude of decks. But I topped a lot, with Setcon. So I was just like, why is security control doing so bad, but Beelstar's doing so good? And to be honest, the reason why is because you put so much aggression with Beelstar that they have to deal with your aggression, and they can't just focus on just trashing your security and this and that. And if they don't have their Yuya or anything like that, like you can just kill their board so easy by just playing an option. Like you're just gonna have it in hand, you play the option, you kill it, and then they just have to rebuild. And by then you're just still putting on the gas with like Eismon, and then late game when it goes into late game, because usually Black Warrior is not killing you really fast, so you're gonna get into late game. So then you're playing your Beelstars for free, and you can just start basically like looping with Beelstar, and it just seems to work. Now, do I say have I lost? I have. But I feel like this is like the most consistent deck that can beat it. Besides like obviously like Grandis because it can OTK. But besides like Grandis, I mean every other deck is kind of having a hard matchup against it, and I feel like Beelstar is just really, really, really good against that matchup, and it's good against like Melga, which is another top deck that's going to be in the format. And obviously it's good against Grandis because if they hit a security bomb, they're done. So I
Sure
just
thing.
think it kind of covers the meta really nice.
Well, let's take a look at the cards. Let's see what you got.
All right, well, let's start with our eggs. We play the one of. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know because obviously we play the four demis. Um, this is obviously the staple egg that you need to use. This one I've been throwing in. I take out, I throw in. You definitely need these four. If you want to play a fifth, you throw this egg in there. If you don't want to play five eggs, you just run these four. It is literally total preference. I've been rocking the five, um, but really you probably only need four to be honest. But eggs, that's personal preference. But now getting into the deck as our level threes. So our level threes is we're starting off with Sistermon Blanc. Three of these. Super generic card. Super good for Beelstar. You get to discard and draw two for three. So I'll explain why this also is super good, especially if you end up going like turn two. If you go second and you're second and not first, on why this card is really good if you open it. But we play three of the Blancs because it's a really good draw supporter for the deck. We play the staple four Gabumons. Obviously, we all know draw two, trash one. Um, and then we got a couple of floodgate options, which is going to be two Gazi. We got one Psyche, one Labramon, one Soundbirdmon, and one Dracomon or Dracmon. I really like this. I've seen other lists playing like more of these and more Psyches. But the Dracmon's so good because sometimes you don't draw the Calling from Darkness, and this can cycle it back. And I think that's huge with Calling being at one. So I think the one of this is super necessary, and I recommend playing it because it has definitely won me games.
That's a
And
very
then
good mix of level threes,
yeah,
plus the Gavus all together. Yeah,
so, and then we actually play one more level three, which is like a spice tech. Then I've also noticed people have been playing this, but I've been playing this in my Beelstar literally forever. The Lucimon,
the one-off Lucemon.
the
We haven't
one
seen
of
we haven't seen that card in a long time.
no, and I'm telling you, it is so good. it just randomly pops up, and people are so like, "Oh, what the hell? Why are you playing that?" And it comes up more than you would actually expect. So, and I want to explain why this, when we go into our level fours, on why this card is so good. So, level four wise, we obviously know that we play the good old four of
You didn't even have to say it. Purple players know you got to run 4 Icemon.
purple players know. But what I want to do, stop before we move on, is what really happens a lot of the time. You get put to two turn one. Like, your opponent goes, they digivolve into their level three, into their level four. Typically, you go to two. That's a typical turn, mostly. Can there be sometimes you go to one? Yeah, if you're playing Grandis and stuff like that. But you go into this guy, you go digivolve for two, you draw your card, you go to zero, and then you play the Blanc out. You give them three, you discard it, one of your options, and then you draw two cards, and then the very next turn you're promoting up and getting two swings right off rip. And if sometimes one of these guys live, like, you're just putting so much pressure on your opponent at that point.
And
If
just
one of these live in security.
yeah, and just controlling a lot of your trash by picking what you want from it from the draws and throwing away stuff that you don't want, or I rather would want to be in the trash.
Exactly, for sure. So this is another controversial thing that I get all the time, is the promote. Everyone plays one. I play two. I like this card. This card wins games. Sometimes I've been in so many situations where I've borrowed someone's deck and they only play one, and I get the one out and swing, and it lives, and I can't kill it, and I have multiple Beelstars in my hand to bring these back and cycle them, and I don't have it. So I just think the two is so good. And to be honest, there's been times where it's late game and I don't want to deck myself out, and I have this in raising, and I got to bring this up. And sometimes I need to promote over it so I don't discard the cards and draw the cards to deck myself out. Uh, this card at two, I think, is super, super good. Again, it's a very personal preference, but I just think it's super good at two. And then we got our last two level fours, which is going to be a Vilemon. Comes in handy. I don't think you need two. I see some people running two. I think one's perfectly fine. If you want to run a second one, that's, I think, where this comes in. If people run a second Vilemon and didn't only the one promote, and they run two of here. I went the opposite way because I like the aggression. And then this card, surprisingly, that I'm about to show you, has won me so many games, and it is so crazy that it works. But this guy right here, Ogremon, this card has nonstop won me games so many times, getting two checks off, even though he's only 5K. I don't understand why it always works, but this guy is one of the most clutch cards as a one of in the deck. He just comes through so many times.
Hilariously enough, now that you've revealed this spike, because I was not aware of it, it does feel like Icemon almost never kills itself with checking security. So if that is the case, then why not just Ogremon and get two checks out the way?
And there's been many times where I have the rookie in the back, right? I have a rookie back here, or I hard played a rookie the turn before, like the Dracmon or the Soundbird or the Labramon out there.
All the on plays or whatever.
All the on plays. And then the very next turn, I just digivolve for two and swing with this, and then I get two checks, and I'm discarding a card. And they're like, "Oh my god, you just got two checks." Now I just put so much aggression on. Like, if they don't get rid of it, like, they're going to be hurting. Like, you can just win so fast sometimes with this deck too. It's crazy. But this takes us to our boss, which everyone should know what that is.
Of course.
You run the four of, obviously. There's no explanation here. You run four. Now, this is the next controversial thing, but this is why the deck beats Blackwargreymon X. So most people run Death X and Beelstar because it makes sense. Why wouldn't you run a level 7 that can go over this? And you can de-digivolve, you can pop the board, or even if you don't digivolve over this, you can just play Death X down for 3. Or for 2, or for 5. Like Death X, you can just drop because it reduces. Instead of playing those, I decided to go with 2 of these.
Short defeats.
So what you do, and I've seen it done, is there's been times where turn 2, you see that they're playing their Tamer down. They don't really realize you're playing 2 of these. because a lot of people are playing Death X. You drop this down for 8, you give them 4, you pop something on board, or you nailbone and have yourself a wide board. They do their turn, and then the very next turn you do, you're digivolving over top of this and popping their Yuya. Most Black War Grey X decks are only running 2 Yuyas, so the chances of them having both is usually slim to none. Usually they have one. So as soon as you can do this and kill their Yuya, and they're susceptible to options, they can't beat you. You're just going to win. There's nothing they can do. As soon as you pop that Yuya, they are done. That is the one. This is your money card. Right here is your money card, and you can't just sacrifice playing one. You need to have 2. You need to have it, and it comes out in security. Like, what more can you ask for? A win condition, and then if it's insecurity, it just comes up. Now, for the Tamers, this is something that I go back and forth on a lot too. So I play one of each. Memory Tamer, and then obviously you guys know if you have, I want to say it's a level 5 or higher, you get to draw if you have 7 or less cards. Yeah, so if you have 7 or less, and you have a level 5 or higher, you tap this, draw a card. That doesn't super come up that often. I put it in here because I wanted to kind of have a Memory Tamer. To be honest, with the format that we kind of are in, with a lot of people dropping like rookies and stuff, I want to go to 2 of these. I think 2 of these instead of 1 and 1, like you have 2 of these guys right here. For 1, it's only a 2 drop instead of a 4 drop. So it's saving you there. And then people have to play around this because they don't want to give you extra memory. They don't want you be at 0, drop a rookie for 3, and then you have 2 of these down, and then you go to 5 for your turn. Like, they don't want that to happen ever. So I'm thinking about switching to 2 of these, to be honest, but the 1 and 1 has been working. So, but that's something that's, you're always updating your deck. You're always trying to improve as you test play and everything like that. So that's still something that's up in the air, but you definitely need to play 2 blue Tamers because obviously you're going to be playing some blue options. And while we're talking about blue options, we might as well get there because there's another spice to it. We obviously play your typical 4 Cocytus Breath. Everyone knows about the Cocytus Breath in the deck now. But there's another card that we also play that is another killer, especially if they don't have Yuya, is Howling Crusher.
Howling Crusher.
People play it. People are also playing different other level 7 options, which I don't like, where it kills like a level 6 or lower, or level 6 or higher. Like, people are coming up with like weird levels or 7 cost options to put in the deck that are blue, they're trying to like kill stuff. But I've just found that it just is so inconsistent that I would rather just play 2. Why not? Get rid of their stack. Melga, get rid of their stack. Grandis, if sometimes they got a pre-swing before they digiburst. Get rid of their stack. Blackwargreymon X, if they are susceptible to options, you get rid of their stack, they're dead. They're not doing anything with that one Blackwargreymon X antibody, Gaiomon, whatever. It's done for because you hit Howling Crusher and then you're killing it next turn because you're dropping Beelstarmon for probably free or next to free. So I went with the double Howling Crusher, and this has really been coming up clutch because they swing and they don't have Yuya and they hit the Howling Crusher and the next turn their card's dead.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
The double Howling Crusher is crazy in this next format.
That's honestly a very good idea, and I've heard people kicking it around, but it makes even more sense on a Beelstarmon deck because you could just play it along with Beelstarmon. And yeah, that's huge. That's gonna help because like you're right. The Blackwargreymon stack is what you're going to get rid of the stack. That's literally the only way you can almost interact with the stack is by taking cards from under it.
Yeah. This card comes up a lot. I just like seeing it, and that too, you see it a lot.
Yeah. So we just got. So all we gotta say is Howling Crusher or Hardly Knower to get rid of all those cards on the bottom, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then once they have no cards at the bottom, you can do whatever the hell you want to their stack because they ain't got one.
No. But there's still more.
There is more. Your typical, and we'll get to some other little spicy tricks. I left some up for the mind, but we play the Happy Bullet. We do play the Jawalt. These are just good, easy one-of staples that I feel like should go in almost every Beelstarmon deck. We play the 2 Nail Bones. People try to play 3. You don't need it. 2's perfectly fine. I promise. Run 2. Don't run 3. Run 2. Don't run 1, don't run 3, run 2. And then your 4 fly bullets, obviously, which is the other staple of the deck. Everyone runs the 4 fly bullets, but that's your kind of your lineup for your 7s. I've been tossing around Trump Sword, but I just don't think it's really super necessary. Because there's not too many level 7s super running around. I mean, it does help against like Death X. It seems very helpful, but I think Death X is definitely going to be played a lot less. So that's why I took Trump Sword out. We like one ofs around here. Here's our one of.
Calling.
But there's more.
Ice Wall.
We like one ofs.
One ofs.
This is very controversial because obviously the only way you're playing this is if you have one of your 2 Tamers down. But with as much as you draw through the deck, I have yet to really dead draw this card, Ice Wall. And the other thing you have to remember is, let's just say you do dead draw this. This can be an easy discard fodder for scatter mode. Just discard it if you don't think you're going to get the Tamer. Just pitch it. You don't need it. If it's in your hand and it's stuck and you have a decision to make, it doesn't mean you can't pitch Ice Wall. But it's like, if you have the blue Tamer and then you have Ice Wall, like, this is a super good win condition. I don't know why I haven't been seeing more people play Ice Wall.
I guess people are scared of the Hades Force taking out the possibility of playing it because it removes the Tamers. But like you just said, yeah, you can just trash it. That's what this deck does.
This deck pitches so many cards from hand. So I mean, if it becomes a dead draw, then you have easy pitch fodder. You don't even have to make a decision. Because I feel like a lot of people don't play decks like this because they don't know. They're not good at decision making on what to discard. Like, they're like, oh, if they don't have an option card in their hand, they're like, oh my god, I don't know. Can I pitch this, or can I pitch a Beelstar? Can I pitch this, or can I pitch, can I pitch a Sistermon? I might need it for later on. Or what if I pitch a Gabumon and I don't have it for next turn? Like, what should I pitch? Like, people have struggle against pitching certain cards. This is obviously just, if you don't have a Tamer, pitch it. If you don't get to use it, who cares? The games that you do see it and get to use it, so good. So good. Now, if you really don't want to play this and you really are against this, just take it out and play a 3rd Mist Memory Boost. I play 2, but if you don't like Ice Wall, take it out and play 3 of these. That would be the only difference. So I decided to take out a Mist Memory Boost and put this in here. So there's your option of wanting to switch out cards.
Makes sense.
So I always like to give people options. Then the last 2 cards, just another card. Pluck off little guys, kill your scatter modes, because scatter mode has jamming for some reason.
Absolutely, you gotta get rid of it yourself sometimes.
Sometimes you do, and sometimes that you have those missed memory boosts, and someone has if you're playing like a mirror match, they have Gaziao, or if you're playing green and they do play Terriermon, or if you play blue and they happen to play Madoki or something, or they're playing some type of floodgate just that you need to get rid of. Obviously it's just a nice staple, and it gets rid of your cards to pop them to start your engine rolling. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the entire deck. It's obviously teched a little bit more for the Black War Gray matchup with the extra Howling Crushers, the Ice Wall in there, the Sword Defeats, to really just like mess with their whole groove of their game. So that's the deck that I think is gonna prevail if you don't want to play Black War Gray.
I mean, I feel like I don't want to, but I'm gonna have to. And I play black and green; those are my colors. You know me. And you play purple, security control, yellow, like that type of stuff. So I definitely see a lot of what you can do as being scary for me, especially from like, well, Hades Force is not gonna take out. It's gonna at max 2 Tamers, and then I have to worry about not just security, but whatever you have in hand or whatever's being played for free. We know that Blackwargreymon can keep you from triggering options off of security, but that may not be enough. You still got to do multiple checks as well. But any final advice for anybody watching and wanting to play Beelstarmon?
I would just say, don't get nervous. People, I feel like, get nervous playing purple. It does take a little bit more brain power, but this is probably one of the easiest purple decks to play. Because I personally am going to play probably like a Merva loop and stuff like that. But this deck is a very easy deck. You play this, you draw your cards, discard your options, and proceed to win. That's your game plan.
And
Very
proceed
simple,
to
but
win.
yes, it's an easy purple deck, which usually purple is not a very easy deck to play. So, anyone that's wanting to get into purple, I think this is what they should do. They should get into, and you'd have a lot of fun regardless. It's a really fun deck because you get to do a lot. You're not just digivolving up a chain. You don't play level 5s, so it's not like you're building a stack. You just literally get to play stuff and just swing, 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 swing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Moonpie. Thank you for joining us. I know you have a lot of preparation to get ready for some more matches, some more cups, more things, and of course, we hope to see you again in some streams. Hopefully, we'll leave your information under the video. And thank you guys for watching. And hopefully, you have some good luck at nationals and all of that stuff, right? So make sure you click on that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.
Click the bell.
Peace, y'all.